To all the guys that are cringy Sigmas, listen up. Did you know Marilyn Monroe was making the first ever drones known to mankind, and was making radio, airplane models, and spraying fire-resistant spray on explosives, saving the many lives of men during World War II, and in honor of her service soon when she became famous, they painted her on a plane that was used for World War II. Did you know she was one of the first to stand up for the Jewish community, since she too was a Jewish woman who owned Bibles, prayer books, and a menorah? And that Jewish people were going through a lot back then. Did you know the men of 20th Century Fox were threatened by her so much that they refused to give her an Oscar after she was one of the first of many women to open their own production company because she dropped them and refused to work for them? Did you know she is declared as the most iconic Hollywood celebrity and the most famous blonde to ever exist? Did you know that almost every time she would go to a different place, the public would hold a grand parade or event for her? Did you know men were so scared of her that a man said this to her?
If I'm scared of you, are most men scared of you? I'm not sure whether I should be frightened of you or not.
Did you know she did a huge donation to the Korean War, and that she performed 4 shows to over 100,000 troops after the Korean War to the troops? Did you know Marilyn Monroe was standing up for Africans and African Americans, Mexicans, Koreans, and all types of people when the president, government, senators, and more of the powerful people of America wouldn't? And she stood up for the equal rights of others, making her one of the first to do so. Did you know she had an IQ of 163 to 168 based off her history with knowledge and education by reading over 430 books she owned in her library at home, which were mostly historical and educational books, meaning her IQ was higher than Einstein, Stephen Hawking, and more? Did you know she was so beautiful that she was asked to be in the Miss America beauty pageants and became the first ever Grand Marshal of the pageants? Did you know she is so important that the world has made dozens of worldwide stamps, magazines, and newspapers of her, not to mention she's the second most photographed person to exist? Did you know she changed how fashion used to be from this to this? And since her fashion was too ahead of her time, many women didn't like it to where Marilyn said people are so conservative here. Not to mention, she's one of main reasons that jeans are now for fashion thing, because they used to be for men and for work only. But she changed that. Did you know she performed the longest walk in cinematic history, which was 116 feet in her film called Niagara? Did you know she was a survivor of abuse from men, including all her husbands except her first husband she was arranged with at 16? Did you know she was the original It Girl? Although she was called that girl, which now It Girl is the modern version of that title, and that she was called the Cheesecake Queen since she was a gorgeous, curved, and thick woman, and her famous titles being the Queen of Hollywood, the most beautiful woman in the world, and the Goddess. Did you know that she's such an American legend that her happy birthday dress when she sang to JFK in the first ever nude illusion dress was sold for over $4 million, and George Washington's clothes was for $3,500,000? Did you know Marilyn Monroe owned many keys to cities and had a key to the Warner Brothers studio? Did you know she created a famous hairstyle called the Undone Marilyn Bob? Did you know she started the kick to an international soccer game, and her kick was so good that many were saying that someone should sign her up on a team? Did you know many men would leave their families to be with her just for her to reject them all? Did you know she was called the beauty standard so much that magazine would tell you how to walk like her or how to look like her? Did you know the first ever Barbie doll was inspired by her and her blonde hair, blue eyes, and red lips? Did you know she named her dog Mafia Honey because she supposedly may have had connections to the Mafia or had friends that were in the Mafia, such as Frank Sinatra? Did you know she was so legendary that the Queen herself was fangirling over her? Did you know she would actually have time for her fans and would stop driving just to sign and kiss the paper to show her love for them? She was a talented actress who won 3 Golden Globes and over 15 for awards. So yeah, she accomplished more than your Sigma idol can do, who are usually just fictional characters on a movie.
You think a girl goes to a party and there's some guy, great big lunk in a fancy striped vest, strutting around like a tiger, giving you that "I'm so handsome you can't resist me" look. And from this, she's supposed to fall flat on her face. Well, she doesn't fall on her face.
And that right there is her telling you the reality of what y'all cringe Sigmas think, and that y'all are wrong.